Greetings and welcome to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel, and in this short video I'm going to continue discussing a topic that I started discussing a little early on in the previous video, the one I uploaded just before this one. So let's just quickly take a look at that, and then I'll proceed to tell you what I had in mind. So in this particular video here, the one that you see, the new calculus integral made simple, I actually showed you how the new calculus integral is constructed, and I came along here and I told you it's this here multiplied by the product width, and of course the formal definition appears in my book. So if you open my book, and it's online, you can access everything online, you will see the definition right at the end. Okay, so this definition here, let me see if I can quickly find it. So it should be round about, that's too far. And this may be a bit, let me just see where I am. Okay, that's the mean value theorem, and I think the integral comes after this. Okay, so just to be on the safe side, okay, let's see, I think it's probably further on. Okay, the new calculus derivative definition, and then after that you'll come across the integral definition, which is on page 119. Okay, so this tells you what the definition is, and it's given right over here. Okay, this is the definition where f prime of mu sub s is given by this expression here. All right, so I don't want to waste too much time on that. I should have opened it earlier, but in any case. So what I wanted to tell you is that after I had completed that video, some idiot called Escadara decided he was going to comment. So he made a comment here, and of course, you know, he lied, because he knew very well that sine of x squared doesn't have a primitive in mainstream calculus, and it does have a primitive in the new calculus using systematic integration, which he knows nothing about. But I appeal to you to look at that definition, that, you know, I mean, that response that I gave him, and then see how he came back and again persisted in his stupidities, making all sorts of stupid assertions, and every one of them wrong about the new calculus. So, and you can see my response to him, and go there and read it and learn that these kind of responses come from this type of individual in the mainstream. It's an individual whose mind has been brainwashed, who doesn't study new knowledge, considers anything outside what he believes or she believes is established knowledge to be true, to be false. Okay, so this is the kind of individual one deals with in the mainstream. Now, I want to show you very basically in this new video that an integral is really that if you don't know a primitive function, even in the new calculus you can approximate it by simply using partitions. Okay, so I'm going to say, if you do that and you just keep on adding the let's say the midpoint, it doesn't even have to be the mean, just the midpoint of each interval, like that. If you add them up, the more you add up and multiply by the interval width, the closer you'll get to the area, okay, to the exact area of what's under the curve, right? So it doesn't matter where you are, you can always, and it doesn't matter what function you have, you can always use this method here to to approximate a definite integral, or even an integral such as the Gauss integral, because all you can do there is use numeric integration to see more or less what the limit is. And by the way, the limit is not the area. The area is that value that is contained by the limit. So, and the false definition that Riemann used, which is listed in this article of mine. So it's called Riemann's, let's see, Riemann4.pdf, and there's the link up there. You can read it to see how he really botches up the integral. It doesn't have to necessarily be a particular partitioning, just equal partitions. And it can also be shown that every Riemann integral is also actually disguised arithmetic, a disguised product of arithmetic means. And I explained this here in this paper that I wrote. So if you take this particular applet, which I'll put a link to in the details section, and play with it. I've only set it up to work for 3x squared, but it really works for, you can get it to work for any other function that you like. And this is what's called numeric integration. The more subintervals you take, the more the arithmetic mean will resemble the actual arithmetic mean, okay, which of the whole interval. So you can use this to see that what I'm telling you is true, and that any integral which is approximated is done this way. Now, the more advanced methods such as the trapezoidal rule and Simpson's simply take advantage of the shape of the curve and try to approximate each section more carefully. So, for example, Simpson's is very good because it does what's called parabolic integration. And of course, all the quadrature formulas were derived from Cotes' integral formula, the general Cotes integral formula. And I've written an article also on that, which I'll place a link. I don't have time to talk about it now, but I'll place a link in the details section, and you can see what's going on there. And then finally, a few days ago, I got this particular email, and I'll read it to you. This guy thinks I'm a professor, but in any case, he says, "My father is a professional mathematician, and he's inspired me to learn math. I found your explanations much more satisfying than the bogus epsilon definitions he gave me. When I told my father about your work, he got really mad at me and said you were a well-known crank. Do you see what I mean when I told you earlier that there are mainstream academics that will not even consider that what they've been brainwashed to believe and taught in a rote fashion could be wrong?" And again, he said that he and his co-workers tried to get your channel shut down because they were annoyed with the, quote, misinformation you spread. He told me not to contact you or he'd punish me. And I hope I can talk to you again about the future of maths. So this is a young guy whose father doesn't even know anything about my work or the new calculus, but has only read the libel and the crap that is posted on sci.math and other sites like Math Stack Exchange, Wikipedia, and what have you. So don't believe anything you hear about me. Download the most important mathematics book, which I've written, which is free, and study it. And if you have questions, contact me and I'll answer you to the best of my ability when I'm able. So this is pretty much it. You can do everything that you can do in the mainstream calculus, and the advantages is that the new calculus is well formulated, and it's rigorous, unlike your bogus mainstream calculus, which is not rigorous and has never been rigorous. Moreover, the new calculus doesn't have any errors in it. So you won't, for example, sometimes get a derivative at a point of inflection and sometimes not. You will never get a derivative at a point of inflection in the new calculus. And that reason is you cannot have a tangent line at any point of inflection, and the derivative is based on the tangent line. So there are many other things which you can learn by downloading my book and reading it. So please become a subscriber if you haven't subscribed already. Spread this wonderful news, and join me again whenever I'll be able to produce another video and discuss more interesting aspects about mathematics. So my name is John Gabriel, and this is a new calculus channel. Till next time, goodbye.